Everyone. In this series, I'm going to teach you biology, and 11, 12, class 11. I'm going to teach you biology of class 11, 12, and for competitive exams from the book named Truman Biology. And competitive exams include like NEET and all that. Well, that is it. Then let's go to the contents. At first let me tell you that the contents, that is, in the way, 11, the contents of 11, 12 biology, in the way it is presented in this curriculum of the different of our national curriculum. According to our national curriculum, it is similar in this book also. So well, let me fix the camera a little bit. Well, here it is. Okay. So first of all, the first unit in class 11 book is diversity of living organisms. Well, so it is what. So the first one is what one must encounter in biology. That is, what is the living world? The living world. Then the classifications. The classifications of the different organisms in the living world. So first of all, you are studying biology, so you have to know the different organisms present and that one encounters in biology, or the different organisms or different life forms, living forms. So these are included in these one, their classification, so that we can, what to say, like have a organized form of those life forms. And then we have the structural organization in plants and animals. So it includes the morphology, anatomy of plants, and for morphology of flowering plants, and anatomy of plants, and the structural organization of animals. Then it comes in the chapter. The unit is cell structure and function, which includes cell, um, the basic unit of life, biomolecules, and cells, and cell cycle, and cell division. Then there is plant physiology, the transportation, how the transportation happens in plants. Then the mineral nutrition, then photosynthesis in higher plants, then respiration in plants, and plant growth and development. And after that, human physiology. Well, so human physiology is important, right? We are humans, so we must be going after that. Digestion and absorption, then breathing and exchanges of gases, body fluids, and their circulation, and excretion, and locomotion, and nerves and neural, all that stuff, and then chemical coordination or hormone, that chapter, hormonal chapter. Then after that, in class 12, the first unit is reproduction, then which includes the reproduction in different various organisms, then in flowering plants, in human, and reproductive health. And then there's this one, that is genetics and evolution. Here there are two, like one is which tells you about genetics, and the next one is what is the molecular basis of genetics, how in the molecules how our, how inheritance happens through molecules. What is the molecular basis of inheritance, that's it. And then the evolution, how we evolved, or animals evolve, or living forms evolve. Then the human welfare due to biology. So first of all, um, the problems we face are health problems and diseases due to different organisms. So that's it. How to tackle that and all that stuff, and how things happen. The strategies for enhancement in food production and microbes in human welfare. Well, that's it. And then the fourth unit is biotechnology and its application. And then there is ecology and environment. That's it. Well, to remember the contents, I must say one thing. You can try my way. Like, I'm telling you to remember the contents. Not, what's the point of memorizing contents? But it gives you a big picture in your mind that what we're actually doing out here. And I believe that at first one must do this chapter, the living world, and then one must do this chapter, that is biomolecules, then the living, then the cell, then the cell cycle, and then these biological classifications. And then one must go for this one, unit 2, then this, then this. Well, after that, um, well, they can do this, then this sequence is quite okay. But here I am mainly out here. I think the sequence is not good. According to me, the sequence should be this one: the living world, then biomolecules, then cell, then cell cycle, and then this classification, and then this and this. That's okay. Well, to give you a big picture of this, I mean, to give you a good picture of the living world, of the, what to say, of the biology that we are going to learn in class 11 and 12. For that, I want to give you, like, by telling in this way it's not okay. I want to give you a big picture of it, like how this content is out there. Well, first of all, let's see one thing. You are going to study biology, right? So while studying biology, first of all, what you must be knowing, well, what is life form? So the first chapter is what is the living world, and then one must sort of classify the organisms, arrange them out. The living organisms that are present, different types of living organisms that are present in, I mean, the different types of life forms that are found, that has been found by human beings. So that helps in, like, knowing the all over biology or the different types of life forms out there. What is biology? Well, biology is the study of the living forms, right? Or study of life. And then see what is the chapter. Then there is the cell. And well, what are cells made up of? Cells are made up of different molecules, like any other, I mean, material. So first of all, you must know the biomolecules, right? And then one must know of the what cell, I mean, these make up cells, and every living form is made up of cells. So then the chapter is cells, and then how the cell divide and cycle on, I mean, how the cell cycle happens and how the cell divide and forms two cells. So this chapter is after that, according to me. And then the structural organization in plants and animals, I mean, these are arranged in certain ways in plants and animals, in multicellular beings. So this is the structural organization in plants and animals. First of all, morphology of plants, how it looks on the outer side, the plant, how the flowering plants. I don't know why only flowering plants, but okay. Well, let's take it in this way that flowering plants are the most common ones. So we can't do it for all of them. So out here we are just considering the morphology of flowering plants, and then the anatomy of plants, the inside part. Well, then the structural organization in animals and animal tissues. That's it. And after that, there's plant physiology. Well, plant physiology and then human physiology. Well, we can't consider all the physiology of all animals, so we have to choose a particular one that in that way. So because the physiology of animals, of different animals, are different, and it's quite complex. So we have chosen, so the syllabus, or the committee, those who have created the syllabus, they have chosen human physiology because we are humans, right? So we must know ours first. Well, in plant physiology, we are going to know that stuffs like, first of all, how things are how, I mean, the mineral nutrition. What are the minerals, or what type of food they need? Okay. So when we remember a food, we know that plants are autotrophic. So how do photosynthesis takes place in higher plants? And after the production of, I mean, so, I mean, what would they do with the material of the photosynthesis or the glucose? They would respire with it. I mean, they use it as energy. So the respiration in plants, the next chapter. And then it must be transported in plants now. So there is transportation in plants, and all this happening for the growth and development of the plant, resulting in the growth and development of the plant. So the next chapter is growth and development of the plant. Well, after that, there is plant human physiology. Well, in human physiology, there is the, first of all, what are the, like, how things are being controlled. So in these there are two chapters, that is neural control and coordination, and the chemical coordination and integration. This is a hormonal chapter. Well, and so after this we can consider, um like, we know that we breathe, so it is a very integral part or very important. So this is breathing and exchange of gases. So we know that after breathing, the oxygen goes to blood. So the next chapter is body and fluid and their circulation. And We know that blood carries the different food and all that. I mean the food material. I mean the nutrients and all that to the different cells. So where do they come from? So they come from by eating. So the digestion and absorption, and eating also remembers as excretion. So here is the excretion product and their elimination. So what do we do? We by eating we get energy, and in what do we need energy? We need energy for locomotion and movement. So the next chapter is this one, locomotion and movement. And after this, in the class 12 syllabus, there's like first chapter, like after doing all these things what I have said in class 11, reproduction is very important, because how can then one produce two, right? So the next chapter is reproduction in organisms, on all the organisms, then the reproduction in flowering plants. So we can't do the reproduction in all the plants. So first of all, what it comes to is the flowering plants. It is the most common one, and then, or we are most interested in because we love flowers, right? Then the most important, that is human reproduction, because we are humans. The reproductive health, and after this, see, after reproduction, would one think of inheritance, right? The pass of characters from parents to offsprings. So it comes with genetics. Okay, and you know that, so you genetics also remembers your variations. So it also gives you calls makes you think of evolution. So genetics and evolution. The first of all, what it comes here out here is the principles of inheritance, how inheritance is happening, and then what molecule is doing the inheritance. That's it. And then there is evolution. And after this, biology and human welfare. In unit 3, there is, I mean, so after all this, we are coming back to humans. So how it is, how human beings are welfare from biology, and how is biology related with human welfare. So first of all, what biology thinks us makes us remember about human welfare is our health, right? Our health, our diseases are caused by different microbes. We already know that different types of germs and all that. So the first chapter is human health and diseases, and then we get our food from what to say, like um from from different poultry and plants and all that. So the next chapter is strategies for enhancement in food production and microbes in human welfare. Then all this makes us remember of biotechnology and its application. What is biotechnology? It is biology and technology and its use. So when we have gathered the knowledge of biology, then we apply technology with it. Then it is the biology, a biotechnology. So first of all, the principles and processes in biotechnology, and then it's the applications, and then the next chapter is ecology and environment. So here the chapter says, so after we have done all this, so ecology is something that how different organisms interact, or the environment interact with the organism. So at first we must know the inner part of the organisms, right? Else how would we know how the organism works? Else how would we know the ecology and the environment of the organism, how it interacts with it? So well, that's it. And then, first of all, so the interaction between organisms and population, different organisms, so that makes us remember of population. So the first chapter is organisms and populations, and then it's with the environment, so ecosystem, and then the different types of organisms found in different places, and that makes us remember of biodiversity and conservation, and then there is the different types of environmental issues out there. Well, that's it. Well, if you want, I can also make you remember the chapters by, I can write the chapters for you, so that you feel like you remember or something, or to make you a recap thing. And if you don't want, then you can skip this part also. Well, first of all, class 11. So, first of all, what is there? The first chapter is related to the living world. What is life? And then after that, there are the biological classifications. These chapters, there are numerous chapters related to it, different to, like the kingdoms of different like monera, protista, fungi, plant kingdom and animals. These are separated chapters. First, before those, there is a biological classification chapter. Well, and um, other than these, there are like biomolecules. There is a chapter called biomolecule because we are all made up of. So to go to the basic part, so we are made up of cells, right? And inside the cells, there are molecules. So what are these molecules? We know that we are all everything is made up of atoms. So atoms made up make atoms make molecules, right? So what are the molecules that the cell possesses? So to know this, we are going for biomolecules. Then the cell. What is the cell and about the basics of the cell, and then the cell cycle, the cycle going on in cell and its division, else how one is going to grow. Well, these are there, and then there is plant physiology. Sorry, then there are the structures. Then there are the structural organization of plants of animals. So in this, there is like the morphology at first, the outer side of the morphology of flowering plants. Then there is anatomy of plants, and then there is the structural organization of animals, and then there is the unit called plant physiology. In it, first of all, there is like what does an organism make you remember? It's food, mineral and nutrition, and then so if there is mineral and nutrition, so what does a plant make you remember of? First of all, it makes you remember of photosynthesis. So there's a chapter related to photosynthesis. Then there is another chapter related to so what it is producing. It is producing something, so you have to respire for energy. Respiration chapter. Then after that there is a transportation chapter, and then all these materials. So from here to here, or to move from to move different things, you need a transportation system within the plants, right? Because they don't have a circulatory system like us, like blood. And then the main thing, that is the plant growth and development. I mean, all this happening for the growth and development of the plant, right? And after that, as I said you that animals are not there, so there is the human physiology. Animals will be much more compliant of variety, so we have to choose anyone. So why not us? Because it's us. Well, first of all, um, according to me, we must go for the neural control and others and coordination chapter, because this is the where this tells you that how this what does nerve do. They sort of coordinates the system, different systems, and the chemical coordination and integration, hormonal chapter. So these are the two things which sort of coordinates your body, makes your body coordinate so that different parts of it work together. So you must do this, according to me, you must do this before, because it tells you else how the different parts of your body work. So after that we're going for the other parts. So what well, we know that what does a human being makes you remember of a living one? Breathing, because it's needed for respiration. And before that, well, no, leave that. Before that, we what does one need? Food. So food makes you remember of digestion, right? Digestion and absorption. And then there is the chapter that after digestion what happens. um well, why do we take food? We take food for energy, right? Well, in seeing it in this way, um um and what do we do it do we, it, where does that go? Well, so we get wait a second, please. Well, let's not do it first. Well, let's first do the I mean um, what does it, first of all, you remember of breathing, right? So after, what does, it takes it intakes oxygen, breathing, so it goes to the blood. So the next chapter you do is blood and circulatory system, and blood body fluids and circulatory system. And then after that, um, there what does it do? What does the blood do? It carries the different sort of what to say, like nutrients and all that, also along with oxygen. So what does they come from? They come from digestion. And what does digestion make you remember of? It's excretion. And other than excretion, all this is happening for production of energy, right? So what does one do with energy? That is locomotion and movement. And then after that, I don't think one has to do the class 12 thing, but I just for remembrance or recalling, I can do it from here, that the reproduction in organisms, different organisms, and the sexual reproduction in flower plants, and then human reproduction and reproductive health, and then this reproduction thing makes you remember of genetics and evolution. That's it. That this first the inheritance, I mean just the principles, and then the molecular basis, then the evolution, and then in biological welfare, that first the diseases and diseases and all that, and then the studies of food and enhancement and the microbes in human welfare. Then there is biotechnology and applications. So I'll first the principles and the process, and then its application, and then we have so that, and until now we have known about individual organisms. Now we're going to know their interactions, collective interactions. So since we have known about the internal, so we can proceed towards the outer one. So at first, so there is ecology and environment. So the at first, the interaction between organisms, so that is organisms, and two different organisms makes us remember of a numerous ones, that is the population, that is the organism and population, and then the ecosystem, that is that it's what to say, like its interaction with the environment. And then there is the diversity, different types of it found, and conservation. And then there is the environmental issues. That's it.